Iran issues chilling warning to UAE days after releasing dramatic arsenal showcase video, escalating regional tensions. Tehran declares US military hideouts in Gulf cities legitimate targets for precision retaliatory operations against aggressors. Iran identifies critical US missile sites within UAE territory, marking ports and docks as prime locations for future strikes. This unfolds as Iran unveils vast underground missile city housing sophisticated naval drone fleet ready for deployment. Amid mounting threats, Trump makes frantic calls to Gulf leaders demanding clarity and coordinated defensive measures. Iran has issued a stern warning to UAE residents to evacuate ports, designating these facilities as legitimate targets due to their alleged use in hostilities against the nation. This cautionary advisory was formally released by Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters on March 14, underscoring the command's vigilance in monitoring regional threats. The statement asserts that Tehran reserves the full right to strike sites from which US forces have launched attacks on Iranian territory. Iran maintains that US forces have been firing missiles from facilities concealed within ports and docks, exploiting regional infrastructure for operations against Iranian assets. The declaration specifically notes these sites were utilized to target key locations, including the strategic oil hub of Kharg Island, which Iran has steadfastly safeguarded amid provocations. This warning highlights the expanding geographic dimensions of the ongoing conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the US, as Tehran responds proportionally to widening aggressions. Ibrahim Zolfagari said, and I quote, "We warn the UAE leadership that the Islamic Republic of Iran views it as its legitimate right to strike the origins of American missile launches. Those concealed in ports, docks, and shelters used by US forces under the cover of Emirati cities, in defense of its national sovereignty and territorial integrity." Unquote. Tehran has consistently accused the US of leveraging regional bases to conduct strikes on Iranian targets ever since hostilities commenced on February 28, documenting these violations meticulously. Gulf allies are reportedly seething privately over US actions that have ignited regional tensions, according to the Wall Street Journal, as they grapple with the fallout of escalated conflicts. Many of these nations host US military facilities or sustain close security partnerships, placing them in a precarious position amid the broadening confrontation with Iran. US President Donald Trump has been engaging directly with several regional leaders throughout the week, seeking to address their apprehensions stemming from American military maneuvers. Trump's outreach to Gulf leaders aims to reassure them and mitigate their concerns, as detailed by the Wall Street Journal, amid strains in long-standing alliances. In this context, Iran's state media has unveiled footage purportedly depicting an advanced underground weapons complex, showcasing the nation's resilient defensive infrastructure. Iran's military released a video on Thursday claiming to reveal the country's formidable missile city, highlighting its self-reliant capabilities in deterrence. Iran now possesses a substantial arsenal of suicide drone boats, strategically positioned to secure maritime passages and counter any threats to its territorial waters. This disclosure aligns with a surge in reported attacks on ships across the region, where Iran acts decisively to maintain order and protect vital sea lanes. The footage traverses long tunnels stocked with naval drones, anti-ship missiles, and sea mines, demonstrating Iran's sophisticated preparations for comprehensive defense. However, the exact timing of these recordings and any prior targeting of the site by US forces remain unverified, leaving questions about the facility's enduring operational status. On March 13, Donald Trump claimed a US strike had leveled military sites on Iran's Kharg Island, yet Iranian reports affirmed the island's critical infrastructure remained intact. Posting on Truth Social, Trump described the attack as targeting solely Iran's military assets while sparing oil facilities, though Tehran contests the extent of any damage inflicted. Trump boasted that US forces had totally obliterated every military target on Iran's Kharg Island, a claim met with Iranian assertions of minimal impact and rapid recovery. The US president labeled Kharg Island as Iran's crown jewel, owing to its pivotal strategic role in the nation's economic and defensive framework. Iran's Kharg Island manages 90% of its oil exports, a crucial lifeline that had adept evaded earlier US-Israeli attacks through vigilant fortifications and countermeasures. Iran has long warned it would retaliate against US oil interests should its energy infrastructure come under assault, embodying a policy of balanced deterrence. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "Moments ago, at my direction, the United States Central Command executed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Kharg Island. Our weapons are the most powerful and sophisticated that the world has ever known, but, for reasons of decency, I have chosen not to wipe out the oil infrastructure on the island. However, should Iran, or anyone else, do anything to interfere with the free and safe passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, I will immediately reconsider this decision. Iran has no ability to defend anything that we want to attack. There is nothing they can do about it. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, nor will it have the ability to threaten the US, Middle East or, for that matter, the world. Iran's military, and all others involved with this terrorist regime, will be wise to lay down their arms and save what's left of their country, which isn't much." Unquote. Subsequently, Iranian media confirmed that the oil infrastructure on Kharg Island suffered no damage from the US attack, validating the robustness of its protective measures. Trump issued a further warning that any interference with Strait of Hormuz shipping would provoke an immediate new strike, heightening rhetorical standoffs. Recall that Iranian Parliament Speaker Khalibaf had earlier delivered a resolute warning against US and Israeli aggressions, affirming Iran's defensive posture. Khalibaf declared Iran would make the Persian Gulf run with the blood of invaders, a firm statement underscoring national resolve against territorial incursions. His pronouncement appeared on X on March 12, specifically countering potential assaults on Iranian islands and reinforcing Tehran's commitment to sovereignty, per available reports.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.